Good evening, everyone. Nice to see you. Let's check the connection first. I will wait for a few uh, seconds or for a couple of minutes, maybe, until you join the live stream. You need to refresh the pages. Hi, Olga. Nice to see you. You need to refresh the page. And Madeleine, nice to see you. I was a little bit skeptical about tonight if anybody comes because tomorrow is this kind of holiday, so maybe you're busy with preparations or meeting your friends. Hi, Barbara, nice to see you. Okay, now I'm happy that I'm not alone tonight. Uh, Before I start to introduce myself and run the class, hi, Petra, nice to see you. I just remind you how we work here. So this is live stream. It's quite fragile. It can be interrupted on YouTube side or on your side, on my side. Some internet troubles might happen. So if something like this happen and you don't see me anymore, first please refresh the page and check if you can enter the live stream again by yourself. If nothing works on your side, it means that maybe it's interrupted on my side. So then just come, wait until I will restore the connection, and I will announce it in this chat box where we now greeting each other. So I will just write there, sorry, we lost the connection, wait a second, we will restore it, because it's recorded, so it will be available anyway after the class, so we will not lose anything. um, Hi, Claudia, Nikki, nice to see you. So, and if you need anything like my help with project or any felting questions, please feel free to ask. You can address it to me in this chat box. I will watch from time to time and I will be happy to answer and help you with your project. My name is Yara, or Yaroslava Trojanic is my full name. I'm a bit crazy felt maker, fully dedicated to animals, usually in form of puppets. I like a lot, and also finger puppets. They can be also plants, not necessarily vegetables, animals. It can be vegetables and flowers. I like miniature. Nowadays, I do full figurine toys, something tiny like this. So, what mostly animals. I'm Hi Tina, nice to see you. Monique, nice to see you. Thank you, Amsterdam. I'm sorry if I pronounce your name incorrectly, but with full respect. So anyway, I like to do this kind of stuff, and sometimes I do run free classes just to cheer you up and share a little bit of knowledge, because I think that it's good when you share with community, and I would like all of us improve the level of felting, because I think felting is really crazy, beautiful material and art, and I wanted to be on a high level. So that's my goal. And these free classes, they started in pandemic time, because we were all stuck at home. I wanted to cheer up my audience, my felting friends. So I was proposing, let's meet for an hour or two together and make something cute, small, relaxing. Uh, and then it was this meetings started, and they were called the coffee with radish, because first thing I was offering, it was tiny, very cute, very fresh looking radish, and that was a hashtag created, coffee with radish. So we kind of in relaxed form, felting and also making something cute. And that's why my project, when I invite you, there is this funny hashtag, coffee with radish. So I now keep these classes not so often, but whenever I come up with something cute and nice and small, which can be fit in one or 2 hours. So I always happy to invite you and do together. Besides, tomorrow is this uh, International Women's Day, and I'm congratulating you with that. I feel nowadays much more special about this holiday because it's not just uh, it's became more important to me. I start to feel that it's really great that I have these opportunities to meet uh, my girlfriends, that I can work, I can earn, I can spend how I want, I can do myself whatever I want. So, and it's all because one day some brave women, they were fighting for it. So I'm very happy now to use these benefits and share it also with you. So I'm happy to have this holiday just to remember those things and appreciate them. So that's all I wanted to say about this introduction. And this is like our happy sign for tomorrow's holiday, because I haven't seen sun for quite long. Winter is quite harsh in Finland, and only last couple of days we had sun. So I was missing it a lot. So I decided why not to felt it by myself, and that's what we're gonna make. This is like a brooch, but I also offer you to try a magnet because it's very nice. You can see my fridge here, and there is this funny frog magnets. They're also on a free class on my website. You can also get it, but it's same idea. There is incorporated magnet, so it's very funny thing. Kids like it and also adults like it. It's useful. It can hold your notes, shopping lists and bills, and also it's a nice tiny project to learn quite a lot about wet felting. We do this in a form of wet felting. Sometimes I use needle felting just as a support technique, because it's very useful sometimes to connect little parts together, speeding up the work, but otherwise it's totally wet felted. I will now move to work table. We're gonna work together. I hope you also felting with me. Let me know if you do felting together with me or you just watching tonight. So I will then know um, that you also in parallel work with me there. But before we start, you can, if you feel like it, you can tell me if you felting with me tonight. But before we start, I will explain you a little bit about uh, pattern and materials that just give you ideas, and you can revise your materials. Maybe you will change your mind and do something else felting with me. Thank you, Madeleine. It's nice. So I wanted just to give you some ideas. So we will make this cute sun, but for sure it can be just simple without any uh, face, just normal sun. It can be magnet. Here is a magnet incorporated, felted inside. You see it's quite strong, it's not falling, so holding nicely. And this is a brush. You can do either that or this. For sure, it can be also done like you can create jewelry, like you can make earrings out of it or some kind of other ideas. But what I wanted to show you that form of the sun can be different. We will start with this because my pattern is very simple. It's simple round, like simple circle, and then we'll make cuts. And when we cut, you see how many rays here. It's really resemble flower now. So it looks like a very cute flower. It also can be sun with so many rays. So it's just different style, different feelings, but it can be like this or it can be like that. It can be even less of rays. It's all about how you cut. So why I'm explaining this beforehand? Because I want to say that about pattern. You see, simple pattern makes this complicated shape because we make cuts. But cuts means some leftovers. So
After I cut, I will end up with some of this felt waste, but I never throw it away. I always just dry it out. So you see I dry it out, and then I again split it and brush it, and I can use it again for a next circle, for example, to stuff my next sun. Or I can just make a ball out of it, or I can just brush it. It's also very useful to have this cat brush. It's like a carders, so it helps you to open up the fibers again to make them useful, and then you can use them again for some other project. But yes, what I'm saying that there is the waste, so it's going to be some leftovers, but then you need to think how to use it, either to put them back to the next sun or to use for another project. But don't throw it away, because after it's dry, it's again completely useful or useful. So why I was pointing it out, not just to say that it's going to be some extras, but that you can make also complicated patterns. So pattern in the beginning can be already with race, but I was trying both options, and I learned that I prefer to have felt waste and reuse it somehow later, instead of making complicated patterns. Because when you make thin shapes on the pattern, when we fold it, it's like tends to spread. It will be more round, more wide, and then when we release the pattern, it's gonna be empty race. So connect them, it will be tricky. It will be much more laborious and time consuming. So I prefer this way than difficult pattern. So I find it much more efficient and easy get result. So I choose. So I'm just explaining you that you can always find different ways to get to this point. Just it depends on what you prefer, how you prefer to work. But I will go with cuts and circles. Besides, it's also very good. Nikki is felting, Petra also, Olga is felting, Monique also. It's great. I'm happy about it. So besides, it's like a very good to learn here how to deal with this cuts, how to work them out so they're very smooth and invisible. So I think it's very useful practice, even though it's a little bit kind of also it's also laborious, but I hope you will like it and you will find a lot of ideas out of it. So and then about ideas, as I was just showing you, so you can make flower out of it. And for example, if you change the color of the middle part, it's going to be even more like flower looking. You can cut different amounts of petals, you can make them bigger, and so it's just a beginning to start, but then you grow your ideas. And for example, this is the also same, absolutely same system. It's a magnet. This is eggs, fried eggs here, and I just changed the pattern a little bit, you see, and then absolutely same steps, except I use two colors. So when we'll make sun in the middle of the work, I will show you how to deal with different colors, but then you can make yourself. So here could be nice, beautiful flower also, not just a egg, fried egg, but same technique, a lot of different ideas. Also, this 8 rays sun can be transformed into nice octopus, or for example spider. So it's just change the color, extend the legs a little bit, and then it's going to be different creature, also cute. You can do different even different colors for different legs, so a lot of options. And then last couple of things before we start felting is about magnet and about wool. So about magnet, here's a sample to show you. You see very thin piece, and magnet is inside. So when it's good amount of wool on top, it's like a balance, so it's holding nicely, strong. but also you cannot see the magnet. On this side, it's clearly visible, and it means it's a little bit too thin layer of wool here. Should be a bit bigger. For sure, as thinner layer, as stronger the magnet, but it's also visible, and sometimes when we felt it, it might break the fibers here and kind of cut hole. So we need to really check it out how we put it. But so if because I got some questions about these magnets, that some of my students, they struggle that magnet jump out, or then it's not holding at all. So the best solution is to buy magnets which are a little bit thicker. When they're a little thicker, you can put it deeper and they are stronger than these thin ones. I have selection of magnets, this material called neodymium, and that's how you can Google it. Strong, super strong magnets or neodymium magnets. So they are silver color. They can be different diameters, but it's nice to have, like, I would say 1 centimeter wide, and here this is like only 1.5 millimeter size, and I find it very weak. So it's better when it's 2 millimeters or even 3 millimeters. As thicker it is, as stronger. So if you have thin ones, then just put it double. Like I will use 2 of them together. It's also idea. You can also, if you have magnets not as wide as like this, like not 8 millimeters but 6, for example, like these ones are 6 millimeters, then you can use them like this. You will place them in different spots, just one by one, but couple of them different spots. So then it will also help to hold better the whole thing. So either you put it together and make it deeper, it will stay, or just place it in a few spots. But if it's like 8 to 10 millimeters diameter and at least 2 millimeters deep, it should work fine. But I will use today double because I tried this fried egg. It's 7 grams, and I put only 1 magnet here, and it stays. If it's magnetic, it stays perfectly, you see, not falling at all. But on the metal, it stays already, you see it's dropping. So it's like much more like weak connection, so it should be a bit more. So for the mood board, if you have magnetic one, any magnet will hold because it's very strong connection. But on the metal, it doesn't stay so well. But here I put double magnet, for example, same but double magnet, and you see it's holding much better. This one also, you see, not falling at all. So just for you not to get disappointment. And also one last idea about magnets, that if you don't have them but you desperately want to have it as a magnet, so you can felt without anything, and then you can felt a very flat piece of same color, and later just put the magnet and sew on some piece of wool. For example, you can make even different color and make a heart shape here, or some other like shape, just to make it more like a decorative connection. But basically some pocket where you can put the magnet and stitch it. So it's also absolutely working idea. And that's about magnets. So you can decide. And about magnets, important security warning. So safety warning, that it's very strong, so don't keep it in your pockets where you also keep your credit cards, because it can damage it. Sometimes it can happen, especially if you bought a lot and then you drop it to your wallet just not to lose it. It might damage your magnetic cards. So be careful. And also when you give it as a gift, always tell your friend that, okay, don't keep your son in the pocket next to your wallet, because it might make some damage. Not necessary, but they're quite strong. So be careful with that. Otherwise, it's a lovely idea. For example, this I use a lot with my toys. You see here, this Tamandua family, this baby, it's connected to the mother on magnet. It's very nice idea to use for toys because animals can hold some food or flowers or whatever. You see, even baby can be hold, and it's good and easy to connect because if you have magnet in both pieces, then they are very strongly holding. So it's quite nice to use. So magnets give a lot of options for felting, and it's very easy to work with it. And then the material. I used tonight extra fine merino uh, in roving. This is just one or tops, one direction fibers, all brushed to one direction. But I just have it, so I use it. It can be any fibers, like absolutely any carded, in roving, uh, coarse, fine, there is coarse fibers, and anything will work. The only difference that if you will use coarse fibers, that the surface will be not as smooth uh, as this merino. But then you just trim it with scissors or with a razor. I can just show you as example. So I was making this these stars out of Bergschaft. This is South German mountain sheep. So you see, it looks absolutely nice, and there is no any fluff here because I was trimming it, I was cutting it off, and it looks nice. The only difference that this is like visibly more kind of smooth because more fine fibers. Here is more rough surface, but it still look lovely. And also you see this bell is also made of um, coarse fibers. This is 30 microns and this is 18 microns. So you see, it looks fine, absolutely fine. And this also very thin candle, also 3 classes available. It's also made all out of these coarse fibers. So it's only about how you treat the wool. You can make fine objects out of coarse wool also. Just you need to be more accurate, and then after all you need to use some scissors or razors to cut it. Otherwise, any wool. Tonight, no any exceptions, everything will work out. So finally we can start. I was explaining everything about fibers now and magnets, so you can be now choosing your materials more conscious. And we need pattern now. So here I have 6 grams of wool. You see, it's not even like in the best way, like not in the best condition. It completely it doesn't matter. I can put away maybe 1 gram or so. So I will start with 5 grams. So 5 grams makes this sun. And here I have 6 grams. They are same almost, but I was shrinking it a bit different. So this sun is more volumed on the side, you see, than this. And this is a little wider because I was just felting it more flat to keep it bigger and wide. And this was opposite. I was collecting it to make it more volumed, more round. So it's about how we will treat the wool, how we'll shrink it. Otherwise, it's almost the same weight and same size. So 5 to 6 grams. If you use coarse fibers, so you can go with like 1 gram less because coarse fibers, when they are so thick, they will shrink less. So then you don't need so much like merino because shrinkage will be different. But again, it will shrink nicely. So might be just a tiny difference. So we can start. Now we need to lay out. This layout for us doesn't matter, like style of your layout. If you have carded fibers, carded is when there is no direction, so you can um, just stretch the fibers nicely, evenly around pattern with a little bit these tips over edge a little bit. But here I will just lay out simple like orthogonal layout. So cross, vertical, horizontal, vertical. Usually I do 3 layers. Doesn't matter. It can be 2 layers. You can we can start like this. You can pull a little bit of fibers first to form inside of the sun. So softly organize some amount of fibers for the inside. You see, I'm not even mixing it. I just kind of shape it a little bit. So here I will put something inside, and I will put this amount on the side now. And then the rest, it's all I need to place here. And so you can split it in half if you want, and then apply one half on one side, another half on another side. But for this project, doesn't matter how even will be the sides, because they will all connect together. So it's finally will be only one piece. So for us, it doesn't matter if upper side is not even with bottom. The most important that it's just even in general, you know, that it's not like on one side is very little, on another a lot, but must be even here and even here. But how many layers, it doesn't matter. So I will just simply place wool on top like this one, and then I will place second. The idea is just to place it even, so try to put it in a nice way, but the style of layout doesn't matter for us. You can use any style, but I just place like this. You can put 2 layers or 3 layers, it's doesn't matter. So I used some amount. Now I bring water. Temperature also doesn't matter, just pleasant for you. I don't make soapy solution because we use very little of water, so it's a waste of soap. I just drip the water to the project through the soap, so it must be soapy water finally. And we need to press it. You can use your piece of fabric or just a plastic bag, something which is helping us to make it flat and wet evenly. So then we take scissors and help to flip it. And now we need to fold all these sides very tight. It means that here must be very tight on the edges. And the goal here is to organize all the fibers in the way that there is no bumps and no folds. All these folds, they must be stretched off. Like just use the scissors and stretch all the fibers kind of in one layer. So it must be as smooth and even as possible. So just like this. If, for example, you have a massive amount of fibers and you stretch it, and here's a lot of them, so you can also cut them, just put them like this, like tiny ribs, and cut them off if it's extreme amount. But also for sure we can remember that it's gonna be extra volumes here, so we can just organize it here, and then remember then we need to work on this side. But I usually try to work accurate, so if something here doesn't appeal, I just cut it off. I don't keep it. And here also, like sorry, here's also you can see that in this area is a bit more fibers and here's a bit thinner, and it's not so important. But to learn to be accurate and precise with your layout, It's always better to make compensation so everything is even. So in these areas where clearly less fibers, I mix a little bit of fibers and apply there to make it more even. I always do that, even though it's not for this particular project is not so important, but it's just like a good way to remember how to work with surface. And here on the side, if you see that here's a lot of fibers, nice, 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 and for example, somewhere you can see it's too thin, so you can also put like this on the side to compensate. So then you can be sure that all your edges, they will be even. Why it's important in general, not maybe for this sun, but in general, if you put it uneven, it means that it's different amount of wool, and it means that it will shrink differently. Thicker layers, they will shrink less. So finally, you will not get the round shape, but it will be kind of deformed. Thicker spots, they will remain bigger, and smaller will shrink, and you will get this kind of, you might get this kind of shape because thinner layers, they will shrink much more and it will be deformation. But it's just a theory. But I I'm on the side of making it. Doesn't matter which project I make, I try to uh, get this into account to be on the, to make it even. So it helped me then to shrink it also even. Then second layer I repeat, just here on the your leftovers you can pull a little bit of extra and drop on the side also. And now whatever you have here, you need to uh, place on this side, distribute it again even. So doesn't matter how many layers, the idea it must be evenly in thickness. So try to control it how you place it. So it's kind of freestyle felting. There is no, we don't need to be very uh, strict with layout. Just try to still keep it on the even side. So again, we make it a bit wet and soapy. Repeat all the previous stages what we did. We press it flat, make it wet, flat, soapy, and then turn and fold again. So now we repeat, make this fold, stretch it a little bit. And here we don't need to compensate anything because we will add now extra volumes here. So for me, this will be my sun volumed part. This will be flat bottom with a magnet, and this will be my upper part. So here, what I do now, I cover it with fabric and go around a little bit and press it a little bit. Just, I'm not felting a lot, just for a few seconds. You see what I do, pressure from both sides and kind of collecting it to the, from the edge to the center. Pressure, just for few seconds. I'm not even felting, I'm kind of getting fibers a little bit kind of more connected. We don't need to felt it yet. Why? Because we need to remove the pattern and we need to connect both sides. And as less we felt in it now, as more easy then it will be connected. So what I did, I just a little bit kind of pressed it so it's more sticky now. And this is my upper part. Now what I'm doing, I will make a cut here. You can make just tiny cross cut like this to open up the center. And then we release the pattern gently because we didn't felt anything, but still fibers already kind of stable because they are full of soap and we already press it a little bit. So here's our empty layout. And now I organize these sides nicely that they kind of sticking. And here we need to first we need to put magnet. And before we place the magnet, I will put tiny bit of extra fibers here, just in case if it's not. You can also check if it's thick enough. You can even place the magnet and see with your eyes and your fingers to touch, like if it's not too transparent. Let me just get my two magnets. So my magnets, I use double. I place here, and if I don't want to put any extra, I can just check if it's flashing through or not. If not, not necessary to put anything under. If you still kind of concerned, so what we do, we get tiny bit of fibers, just a little, and mix them a little bit, but not much, just a little, and place this fresh to the bottom, and then we put the magnet, and then with the second portion of the same fibers we put it covered, kind of locking it. And here you can even put extra lock. We need to lock this magnet so it's not moving too much anywhere, just like this. And then we can start stuffing this volume for the sun. Here I will show you with another color so you can get the idea, so how to make this a fried egg or flour. I got red color here so it's more visible. So what we do, we mix the fibers, make them kind of carded because then they are felting better, and then I form soft ball. Don't roll it, just kind of organize it nice and soft, and I place it in the middle like this. So with sun we will do the same, just yellow color, but I wanted to show you how to deal with this, if it's flower, if it's contrast color. Then these ones I put on the side to hold together these edges. They can be also put more tight if you want, but then we need another wool which you mix, then fold the edge, and then you need to place it around like this. So it must be very accurately attached on the side, so you can see it's only straight connection here. Nothing is visible. And then you can use a little bit of needle felting if you want, just to poke it so it stays a little better. And then you can start felting like I will show you, and you will get nice flower or nice fried egg. But with sun it's more easy because it's just single color. So we do the same. I leave a little bit for connection on top, and then the rest I mix. I will also now make tiny soft ball, place it in the middle. So mixing, and then just gently organize here. And then you can pull this, even stretch this cut and pull it even higher. You can even close them almost completely. So we kind of stuff it. It's like tiny ravioli with egg yolk. So mixing now some extra fibers because we need to cover this nicely now. Here we don't need to fold the sides because it's a yellow color, so it can be just soft going around. So now what I do, I just stretch it and add on top to make all these connections invisible, like this. And in general, this project can be done completely out of needle felting. It's not necessary. We can just start attaching it gently with hands. But if you have needle for felting, you can also help yourself a little bit by poking. Just a little, like to attach to the center. But again, I'm saying it's not necessary. But if you have needle, then you can use. If you don't have, you just organize it nicely, and we will start felting it soon. So you can still use this, but check out that a magnet is not sticking to your needle because it can move. So check out that magnet is in the place. So just a little you can fix. And also, so let's check the magnet. It's still here. For a needle, it's also optional. You can poke the whole things like these sides. It's not necessary. We can just felt it. But if you like needle felting and you find it nice, uh, like helpful, you can also poke these sides with needle felting, because you kind of helping yourself. You stitch these two sides together, so it's speeding up connections for sure. But you can also just be gentle and felt everything without this technique. So I will make just half of it this way and half I will show you without. So this is just much faster because it's already making a half job for you to connect two sides, because you see it's like a stitching, these stitches coming through. So you can poke the whole thing and then we can start felting it. Here we need to be gentle. Our goal is to attach this extra nicely to bottom, and these edges, they must felt together. So here we put some water. You can get warm water, not hot but warm. And then we start putting a little bit of water and salt. And here we put this on top, so it should get wet and soapy. Don't press it too hard. And then we start gently stroke, very gently. If I press it too hard now, it will be very kind of wrinkled, because it's a lot of, you see, a lot of air there. So idea, first I need to kind of make the upper layers attached, and then little by little I will start shrinking it. If I press it too hard now, I will get too many wrinkles. If you ended up with wrinkles, you can always get your sun and drop like this to the water, so it's filled up with water. It will stretch and wrinkles will get away. So here we just start little by little polishing upper part, and the sides I usually cover with my fabric, and then I press both sides. I give pressure both sides because this is the fastest to connect. Pressure from both sides. So the idea now to connect the edges and attach this upper part. And when you work with this center part, always kind of organize it so it's not spreading. So you kind of make this very sharp sharp round shape here. So little by little we continue. Gentle stroking and pressure. And on the sides must be pressure both sides. If these both sides are not sticking, use the needle felting. It can help you. And also dip it to warm water and add some soap, and again press both sides. But do it gently, so let the fibers to connect. If you are too active, there is no time for fibers to attach to each other. So in the beginning, we need to be very, very gentle to let the fibers to catch each other. You see, I start to press this middle part and it's getting wrinkles, but it's not big deal. I need still to connect. So first I make it a bit flat and then again start to get it volume by pushing from side to the center. I can check the surface now. If you touch and fibers are not moving, it means that it's stabilized, so you can drop your fabric and work without it. If you touch and everything is moving, it means that you still need to use fabrics because it helps you. Here I can feel that, for example, on this side, it's already start to connect, and somewhere you see it's completely open. So I need to continue. I need to continue, make the connection. Pressure. We need to connect two sides nicely, because otherwise we cannot cut it. If we cut, it will kind of break out all the rays. So we uh, not in a hurry now. We just need to continue until it's super connected. Then we can make nice cuts. As further we go, as more active we can work. Also on this side, we can now press the whole thing, but softly, you see, softly, not like washing, but pressing. I do pressing like this. Now you see it's quite flat, but because it's different amount of fibers, later it will still form nice middle part because it's much, much thicker. So pressure, kind of massaging surface until you feel that, okay, now I feel it's connected. And this you can even do like that, making it a little more volumed from the sides and pressing it full also, because inside layers must also felt. I will work on the magnet side. I can see the magnet here. See this. From time to time you can dip it to warm water. It's also helping speeding up. You can do very soft rolling, but very soft. And you see this kind of active work you only start when you feel that everything is getting connected. If something disconnected and you do harsh moves, it's breaking it, open it up even worse. So you need to be patient until you get connections. When it's connected, then you can start be more and more kind of aggressive, like more strong, apply more strength, like. So now let's check how it goes. It's getting, you see, shrinking. little by little. And I will check now the sides. You can try to pull them out. Like if they not splitting, then it's good enough already. And this middle part we can press and felt better, like this also. A little rolling. And I can start feeling that my sun is getting more and more strong. So at this point, I can start cutting. I could cut even a little earlier, but basically, as further you cut, as more easy to, like, more stable race, but also leftovers more hard. Like, so it's not so easy to break them apart later, because they for sure they have felt it. So now we need to make cuts. And here I remind you that it's all depend on you how many rays you want to get. My this sample sample sun has 12 rays. So to make 12 rays, we need to make first 24 of them and then cut half. Every second one will cut. If you want 8 of them, it must be 16. So here is a full 24. And then I will get rid of each second one of them like that. And that's become my style sun. For sure, it can be all symmetrical, but it's more tricky to cut. So I do symmetric cuts. So now I cut all the way until these edges. So one, and then symmetrically two. Then another cut. 3, 4. So you see here's already some kind of flower appearing. If you make it more round here, you can get nice looking flower. It reminds me a little bit of this, not water lily, but the other type which grows in the swamps, also yellow one. And also when it's like this, it's also look like this first one in the spring. I forgot all the English names, but you know this very common yellow one with this soft. One side is soft and other is harsh. What is the name of it? So anyway, now we cut each of these 4 in half. In in Russian, it's called something like mother and stepmother, something like that. But in English, I forgot. It's not so important. But so you see now it's even more resembling the flower. And then for 12 rays, we need to cut every single petal in 3 parts, not in 2. If you cut in 2 now, you will end up with 8. If you cut 3, then you will end up with 12. So now each of them we cut in 3. So 3, 3, another. Okay, now it's nice looking flower also. So if you keep everything like this, you will get this. But I will now cut every second one. So I will go around and start cutting off every second piece. like that. Okay, so that's my sun. That's my leftovers, which I can dry and reuse. You see, they open up and you can still get some fibers out of it. Also, you can just, that's all my kind of waste, but you can also make nice bead out of it. You can just take a little bit of fresh fibers like this, and you can cover all your waste there nicely, and then to make a little soap, and then roll, and you will get nice looking bead. So also can be used for beads. But here we are. So now there are also two options. If you start felting now like this, so you will get this classic rays when they are like more narrow here, and then they are more wide on the tip. But I want them to be more straight, so I will also fix a little bit this rays. Each of them, I will just make it a little more narrow on the top. It's not necessary, but I just prefer this way. So I'm just straightening them a little bit. Oh my God, look at these flowers. Yeah, exactly those Tussilago farfara. Yes, is this one I forgot their names. You know, sometimes it's like blackout. You always knew this name, and then when you need, you cannot remember. It's something scary. So, like this. And now we need, I will finally, just a second, give me a second. And now we need to start felting. So here it's already partly done, but still very, you see, very underfelted. So I need now to shrink, and I need to get rid of all these cuts because it does not appeal and look like unfinished. So what we do, we bring ourselves hot water, we dip our sun there, so it's full filled with nice hot water, and then we take a little bit of salt, and we need to get rid of cuts. So how we do it? You squeeze the ray very tight and then rub on top of the mat. Don't rub like this, just rub on same spot. And when you squeeze, it's getting more round and getting more strong, and also all these cuts are disappearing. So we're rubbing, and it's also getting a bit longer. You see, nice looking. So we need to now work out all of this. For sure it's not ready yet, but we need to make first stage by making it more narrow and strong. So I will go now one by one. Remember, squeeze it tight. You can also put a finger if it's hard to squeeze, so you can do like this, and then rub. So you see it's transforming quite nicely. So now we need to work out all of them. For sure, when you have 24, it's double work. 12 is a little more easy. So I made my first round. I am now checking that all of them a little bit worked out. And then I will give a little bit of rest to myself and work a bit on the sun part. I will on the body. Yes, I will try to shrink it, working from the sides toward the center to make it more. If you want it more wide and flat, then you can oppositely. You can press and just work so it will get, you see, it still has volume, but it's getting more spreaded. If you want it more like a ball, then you collect it from the sides toward the center, then it's getting nice shape, like I mean very, very volumed shape. I'm somewhere in the middle, so I want it to be a bit more volume, but also not uh, so small. So and then again working a little bit on the rays. And if you feel that your rays quite strong now in the way that they're not breaking apart, so then we can make soft rolling. The whole thing we roll softly. It's help us to shrink, and also it makes everything more round. So basically deforming everything, making it more round. But you see how it looks now. But our rays getting more felted and more roundish. So after that, again, I repeat this work. I'm going around. So, and again, you see my rays getting stronger and better shape. And I will work now in a circle. I will shrink it like this a little bit and then work out on each ray until I'm satisfied. It's already quite felted, but still, for me, it's still too soft. How I decide if my project is ready? Every felting project has different stages of readiness, because for scarf, we make it still quite flexible, and for my toys I like it when it's like rock hard. So this sun can be shrink until it's like rock hard, or can be a little softish, because this is not for use. You don't play with it every day like with puppets, for example. So if it's placed on the mood board or on the fridge, for sure it can be a little bit softer, but it doesn't mean underfelted. So how I judge? First of all, it must look nice, must be smooth. All the body parts should be even without visible these cuts, nice shape, strong. So then it's considered ready. But if you see that it's still wrinkled and deforming very easily, then it's a little bit underfelted. Then we need to continue. And one more tip I give you, for example, if, for example, sometimes I also have this situation. Um, I cut some ray, for example, and it became super thin. So after I felted everything, one is very thin and it's a little bit kind of hanging down, because here's two little fibers. Maybe they also somehow connected in the way that not strong, and that is like kind of hanging, almost falling. And it's pity, because the whole project is nice and one is a little bit uh, problematic. So what you can do, you can make it more strong by fixing it with thread. I will show you that. Maybe you will not have this trouble, but it's quite common thing. So might be useful for you. So what we do, we take thread. It's better when it's matching color, but it can be also different color, but still not too bright. But so then you put it inside, and then you go through the ray in the way that you cannot see this thread at all. It must stay there, so it will make like a bone inside. So sometimes it's difficult to work with sticky and slippery surface, but and then you go back again through the array, putting it. You can use pliers to pull. So, and then you can go back and forth and even push it closer to the body, make it stronger, staying stronger, until you feel it's okay. Now it's secured, nothing, it will not fall, and it will not hang down. So then you just cut this thread and continue felting with this thread inside, and it will make this core for your softish part. So it's very, very useful. I use it quite often. Sometimes it's happened to my toy, like frog finger, for example, toe, and doesn't stay nicely. So it's very, very good tip. So always don't give up if you get this kind of situation. Just take a thread and make it stronger with stitching. And nobody will see it, it will shrink inside. So we continue felting a little bit more. It's already getting nice, but I want it to be a little on a stronger side, so I'm working slightly up for a couple of more minutes. I will shrink it a little bit more. And make it both sides nice looking, because there is no any insides. Insides must be also nice and smooth here, no any big wrinkles or kind of cracks. So stretch it. Sometimes if you have some big crack and it's really a problem, you cannot get rid of it. So the best tool to use is you use owl. You just find the crack. Well, I don't have the crack, but imagine if it's something here, and pull through the body, kind of stretch the crack from inside, like pushing with this owl. It's very useful technique for something volumed, because these wrinkles, they quite often happen because there is a lot of material and it's sometimes not even. It can be some gaps there or air, and then become cracks that you cannot get rid of it. But so this owl technique helping a lot. So we continue shrinking. I can feel that my sun already getting quite resistant. You see, it's not deforming so much because it's getting tighter and tighter. So I will just work another minute or two, just because I really like it when it's very strongly felted. So just I will keep shrinking a little. As further we go, as more pressure you can give. Now I will wash it a little bit. Now I can feel that all my rays, they become like kind of nice sausages. So they're round, they're not, there are no any sides on them of these cuts. Now I just want to straighten them a little bit and make it a bit more narrow. So I will stretch and rub on top of the mat a little bit. And I think that my sun is quite ready already. So I will now just get rid of soap just a little bit, and I will show you. We will judge if it's ready or not. So I just washed a little, so more visible. So you see, surface is quite still soft, but it's not that soft that it's deforming. It's just always there is some softness when it's wet. But at this stage, without huge deformation and smooth surface, it's already good enough. If I wish, I can shrink even more until it will be like a rock hard, but I don't see uh, necessary point here because it's already felted good in this way. And then all the rays, they should be felted. Well, it's my preference, but I like when it has long life, so it must be felted. So when you hit, you see they are not deforming, they stay strong. So it means that they're in a very good stage of felting. If you press and they're kind of softly deforming like this, you see, like, then they're a little bit under felted. So we need to work a little more. Just keep rubbing it until you press and it stays. You see, it didn't take me too much time to fix this. So whenever you brought it to this condition, so it's very strongly staying, not deforming, very nice smooth surface both sides, so we consider it's ready. Then we need to wash it. Okay, Ineke, I understood the question. Okay, pointy, it's a good question. So pointy means that these edges, like they are very like sharp here, yes. So it's happened just by natural shrinkage system of felting. So the main rule of felting that we shrink by the direction. So the way we apply the strength, the way it shrink. So if I work this way, my sun will shrink like this. If I will work this way, it will shrink like this. So on the rays, it works the same way. So when I want to make them narrow, I work this way and they get more narrow. And same for the tip. Maybe when we press a bit harder on the tip shrink into this pointy form. So how we can get rid of it? We need to work from the tip towards the center. So I will show you. You see this point now. So if you just press to the point and work towards the sun like this, you see what happened to the tip. So shrinkage went this direction. And again, like if I work this way, all the fibers stretch, shrink this way, and that's become very narrow. And now I press from tip towards the body, and you see shrinkage changing everything. So now all the fibers, they shrink this way and we get different shape. So all the work happened by this rule. You always shrink your project according to what you want. So you can manipulate how it will look just by applying strength by particular direction. So always remember how you move, here it's shrink. So it's never by itself, it's always by our movements. So now I hope you can get it fixed. If you have this too pointy, just work from this side towards the center, towards the body of the sun, and it will be nice and more round. I just wonder if I have anything here to show more particular. Just a second. I just show you with this sun, but could be nice to show on some piece of fabric, something flat. I don't have it. So basically, this is for sure under felted, but more visible. So when we apply the strength, you see the shape of this kind of piece. If I will work this way, it will shrink exactly on the same direction. So as further I shrink, as more deformation happen. You see all the fibers, they get like this. Now if I work this way, now the fibers will move this way. So again, I apply strength here. And you see it's reshaping. Here it remain the same, and here it start to shrink this way. So you can always change the edges and the shape just by strength application. How and from where you work, you can manipulate the size and the shape of it. So here now it's wide. If I will just work here, you see it's getting immediately like this shrinking. So that's how you work with wool. With felt, always just keeping in your mind that you are the one who is controlling how it goes. Sometimes directions of how we lay out the fibers, they help us to control and help us to shrink, but still you are the main boss who is changing the shape. So now I will just wash my sun underwater. There is no any secrets there, so I will not show it to you. But what I want to show you, that I will wash like this, you see? Get rid of soap, don't be afraid to deform. When you felt properly, nothing will be destroyed. And after you wash off the soap, make the last ring with cold water. It's making the wool more strong. Felt love cold water, so just always give the last wash with cold water. And then squeeze all the water out. So you see, I bring it like this, a little bit deformed. Now I just will use 1 second of time to clean a little bit to show you the end of work. Just give me a second. Ineke, did you get your raised nice shape now? I would like to know, everyone, how you're doing with your sons. And now I will just wipe my table, show you the end work. And I really hope that your sons are going very nicely now. Don't hurry, just take your time, enjoy. This is our main goal, to get some fun and learn a little bit how to control the wool. So we can dry out a little bit of our sun. Let me check the connection to the chat. Sometimes chat is freezing a little bit. I will make a test. So now we need to stretch, because now we got some wrinkles, so we can stretch without any fear. If it's properly felted, it's kind of unbreakable. So stretch it, and the bottom also stretch. If it's magnet, I usually make it as flat as I can. You can even use some kind of flat surface. Here is not flat, but you can use a real flat to make it nice and polished there, like without any wrinkles. So as nice as possible. So magnet is here, it stays. If it's for brush, then it's better if you make it not flat, but a little bit, make a little like a tiny hole here, so to attach the pin. Because if you put pin on a flat surface, then your brush, if you put it on a very flat, so brush sometimes hanging kind of down from your jacket. But if it's a little bit inside, then it's better stays on the clothes, tighter. So depends on what you plan. You can either stretch it flat or make it a little bit curvy. And then we work with rays on a clean surface. Just straighten them, stretching, restoring all of them. The way you put it to dry now, the way it stays. If you're not satisfied, sometimes you're like tired and you feel like, okay, whatever, it's okay. Next day you wake up and, oh, it doesn't look so good. So no worries, you can always put it wet and soapy and repeat the last stages of work. So you can work a little more and then make all this washing and shaping again. So it's always possible. Same way, if it's getting dirty, you can always do the same thing. Make it a little wet and soapy, wash it, stretch, make a nice shape again, and it's ready. Also, this project, they not necessarily need to be done in one go. You can always lay out a little bit, felt a little bit, then leave it and come back whenever you have time. And if it's dry, it's completely fine. You can even put it to close it, wait for you for a year, and then come back and make it again. So here's my son. I will just give you tips about the eyes and mouse. Let me check. Ineke looks very cute, beautiful. Look nice. Maybe body part should be maybe more like felted, but I'm not sure. I mean, by picture it looks like it should be a bit worked. Petra, you make some very creative sun. It looks like it has a red cheeks. It's nice. Let's see what it will be when it's ready and felted completely. So with pin, I give you tip that you can make it a little deeper and then just stitch it, sew it on, and then it's good. And for the eyes, there is a lot of options here if you want to make eyes. So for sure, you can simply sew on some beads because it's very kind of primitive. Where is my son? So it's quite this kind of simple, primitive. Can be just some beads. You can simply embroider it. You can even embroider white eyeball and then make a black pupil inside if you like. I usually use for sure the same eyes what I use for all my toys. I buy them online. It's um, plenty of sources where you can get it. When you Google it, just Google plastic toy eyes and you will get, and you can put millimeters. I use 4 millimeters here. It's written on your list of materials. You can download it and see. But can be 5, also nice. But this is 4 millimeters. They're on a stem. So I will make owl, make a hole, put them inside, and then simply glue it. So just I will choose the spots. I usually place the eyes and then leave them for a while until it's dry, and then I glue them. Not because I cannot glue them wet, but because I usually like to glue when I have fresh eye. So after we felt it, sometimes I'm just too tired. Well, not me, but everybody. And so I don't want to screw it up. So I leave it for overnight. And then if I'm satisfied with how it looks, then I just glue it. So for gluing, you can, for this project, you can use any glue, like anything you have. For example, this whatever, like super glue, craft glue, like textile glue. But I like just I buy this. It's written here in Russian, but it's a super glue, fast glue, in form of gel. Any brand will go, doesn't matter. So it's absolutely doesn't matter. So here it's simple. What you can do, you just lift it a little up with these stems. You see, it's like a crab eyes now. And then you take pin, take a little bit of glue and put under eye here, just a little bit, and then put it tight to the face. This is a simple attachment, no needs for any super tricks here. It's quite primitive. And or just sew something or embroider. It's also embroidery look very lovely. It's very unique and nice, so you can do. And then the mouse is just one stitch. I will still show you just for you to know how to deal with the beginning, because I'm personally I never make knot. I don't make knot, and for that, because I don't want it to be anywhere visible, so what I do, I go inside the toy and then I go to the same spot but move to another direction. So I want to tangle this thread inside a little bit, and you see you cannot see it. So, and I go 2-3 times until you can pull, try to pull out the thread, and if it's stuck, then it's good. You see, now I pull it and it doesn't move out. So I go again to the most important, to the same spot. So then I move to the place where I consider good for the mouse. And then I just do one stitch, because my son is not so smiley, it's quite shy, so I do just simple. If you want, you can embroider like more curvy smile, bigger one, but my have this kind of very shy, so I just pull it down a little bit like this. So, and then you do the same trick, so you hide the thread in the same way, so should be tangled invisibly, and then just cut this, but just go deeper so you cannot see it through. And then just cut it off. You can, sometimes I remake mouse if I don't like. You see, the making face is the most difficult thing to make nice looking. You see, now I made a little mistake here, in a way that I put eyes, and good that I didn't glue them, because they are too symmetrical now. You see, it's like just these rays are too symmetrical, so I would rather make it like this. You see, a little bit uh, uneven, because symmetry, when it's not exact, it's bothering. So I would reset the eyes a little bit different, but now it's like this. But I will remove it and replace slightly in a different position, but it's also fine. So this is my sun. When it's dry, it will be more strong and it will keep shape, and it can stay nicely on the fridge, keep nice notes, or it can be uh, used as a brush. Tomorrow I will give it as a gift to my friend for this Women's Day, just because it's cheerful. I think it's quite cute. So I will come now to your to the front camera. We are just right on time. I was planning 1.5 hours. Now it's exactly 1.5 hours.
let me know if you have any questions, and if you maybe have something ready to show. uh, I I understand that you are still probably working. It's completely fine, but my goal is just to understand now if you have any difficulties, if you need some extra explanations on something, and I will be happy to see your work ready. So when you finish it and happy with that, you can post your picture here to the chat, or you can post it online if you want to your social media if you feel like it. And I will be very happy if you can use my hashtag for this project so I can find it later. But also you can just drop your picture to review page. There is on my website under this teaching uh, section, there is a review, and whenever you enter your personal account, you are able to post review. I have now more than 1,000 of them, and I can tell you this is like my my treasure. I like to come there and watch um, reviews because it gives me power, you know. Sometimes I feel like everybody else. I feel a little down about myself and my work, and then I read these nice reviews, and I'm quite happy with that. It's cheerful, and I feel power again. So, and also this is just link just in case. So review page, and I also can you can get 10% discount. Whenever you post your review, you get your personal bonus promo code, which you can apply whenever you want to join my class. Even if I have my discount, you can always put yours on top. So it's your personal bonus for feedbacks. Let's check. Thank you, Ineke. I'm very happy to share. When I made it, I was so happy with that because I don't know, it's small thing but so cheerful. I like sun. My name also connected to sun, uh, so it was a nice and bright tiny bit, but also quite a lot of learning of sculpturing. And a very a quick project because tonight we spent with you a lot of time, but part of it I was explaining and talking. So if you cut it off, then it will be quite quick. And with this quick project, you can make a lot of your friends happy. We are all um, big kids, and we like these tiny things. It can be very uplifting, tiny gift. Thank you, Petra. Kim, thank you so much. Nice to see you. It looks cute. Nice color. Very light and nice. 11 rays is completely fine. Yesterday I was also cutting a bit by mistake. I didn't cut. I forgot one step, so I ended up with double rays together. So this from yesterday is like 13 of them. So 13 is also good. 11 irregularly, it's fine. You know, sun is not asymmetrical. If we watch when there is clouds, we can see these rays. They're all different shapes. I think that it's nice when it's not exact. Here tonight we were just learning to make precise, just to learn how to control. But as a project, you know, it's always very personal when it's irregular. But if something irregular, something must be very uh, good quality, and this is quality of felt. If you felt it super nicely, then it will be just like a very one of a kind unique design, you know. But if quality of felt not so good and then something uneven and irregular, then it just doesn't feel like a masterpiece. But just make it super well felted and it will look like very nice masterpiece. Repair array, yes, Monique, it's great. uh, great that you have something to repair, because then you will get rid of this fear for future that something is not possible to fix. One more thing I tell you about this fixing, that when you discover this ray, very like thin and dangerous, like almost breaking, and it might be not enough to stitch sometimes, like if it's completely almost off. So but if it's in the very beginning, you notice that, oh my god, I cut it, it's almost falling, then what you can do, you make these stitches, and then you take tiny bit of wool, mix it, and make an additional volume. So basically put it to the place where is missing volume, put it round, and then fix with needle. Use needle felting, attach extra fresh fibers for better connection, and then continue felting. So you can put this kind of uh, this patch to fix it tighter. But patches, they only work in the beginning, because as further we felt, as more polished the surface, as less fibers want to connect. So always a good idea to fix anything what you notice immediately. So you found something or it doesn't stay, immediately fix it, and then it's cost you less. Then you will be able to fix it quickly and nobody will see anything. It will be completely fine. So it was fun. Thank you so much. I was very happy to share with you this tiny sunshine. I hope that it was useful and cheerful. I hope that you will end up tonight or tomorrow already with your lovely sons, and then you will share it also with somebody. And please uh, felt it well, okay? It must be nicely felted. It's our goal to make this felting is as good and a valuable art as other arts. I hope to see you again in some other classes, free or not free. I hope in the end of March to make another stream uh, on Puppet. Now it's still secret, but in a few days I will make an announcement. Maybe you will like it. I always happy to see you. If you have any questions later, please write me email. I will be happy to help you. And this class will be available to rewatch in your personal accounts in 1 or 1.5 hours already. Soon it's gonna be Easter. There is some, not even there are some cute projects on a free classes page you can watch. There is very cute chicken on the wheel. It's much more tricky project, bigger, but it's nice. It's like a vessel, vase with wheels, very cute and beautiful chicken. And then there are some uh, nice beads, like tiny chickens, chicks are nice. You can make earrings, bracelets, and some other ideas for very quick and cute presents. So just take a look. Maybe you will get some inspiration and make something. I wish you a very good evening and very good, inspiring spring. Thank you for joining me. I hope to see you again. Bye bye.